So if you're a golfer who struggles not just with distance but accuracy with driver, I've got a 2-second tip in today's video that's going to transform your driving, getting you hitting the ball over 50 yards longer and even straighter than ever before. So I think most golfers are told that with driver we need that golf ball up opposite that lead toe, get that club in behind the golf ball, and then they're told that they need to try and hit up on the golf ball. But very often, when they're in this position, if they manage to hit up, we see that one way right, low points behind. So the good news is I've hit up 2.6 degrees, paths out to win 4.4 and club face wide open and short and wide. But the big problem for a lot of golfers is as they move that golf ball forward in their stance, we can start to see that my shoulders open up, which is definitely going to encourage more of that out to in path. But also, this is also really important to understand, is as the club's moving up to hit the golf ball, it's actually starting to move more left or out to in than it normally would do. So by the time I see a lot of guys set up, thinking they're definitely going to swing out to in, even if they manage to hit up, they tend to leave that club face looking towards a target, and that's that shot. So it's really simple. We're going to go a little bit higher with the tee, which I think already encourages that hitting up on the golf ball. But we're going to set up initially with the club behind the ball, but then all we're going to do is we're going to move that club head back 6 to 8 inches. So do that again. Back. Now, the good news is I said it was a 2-second tip. You see that doesn't even take 2 seconds. But what this does, straight away as I move the club head back, you see how it squares my shoulders up. If anything, gets the shoulders pointing a little bit more to the right, which is going to encourage swinging a little bit more over to the right. So that if my low point's behind the golf ball, by the time the club's working up and more left, it should be a little bit straighter. Now, the key is if we want to maximise distance, hitting up with driver is fantastic. But if we want to be better accuracy-wise, we need the path and the face to be much more neutral. But I don't want you worrying about that in the golf swing. Just this change in setup is going to improve the path. If you're somebody who hits it with the club face open in the initial position, as the ball's further forward, the club head's got a little bit longer to close. So I'm going to set up as I've just spoken about. Literally going to just move that back and then make my normal swing. Strike felt good. 103 mile an hour, 4 inches behind, up 2.6 degrees. Club path was very slightly out to in, but much less. Because the club face had a little bit longer to close, only 1.5 degrees open. 251 carry and 286 total. Now, a lot of the time we'll hear on TV that the top players find it very difficult to draw a driver. I don't necessarily agree with that, but because a lot of the top players now are looking to hit up a lot to maximise that distance, obviously their club's going to be, as it's moving up, moving more left. So for them closing the club face, they'd need to be aligned much, much further right, which again, I don't have an issue with for a lot of golfers. If you wanted to be there, pull the club back and even drop that right foot back a little bit and then make your swing. Now it was out the toe, but we can see low point 5 inches behind. Club face is reading 2.5 open, but that's more down to strike, but still 240 carry, 262 total. But I think a lot of golfers, when they get into this position, they then start talking about, I need to tilt my spine away from the target. What do I do with my hips? So it becomes lots of things to think about. What I love with this is once I get there, we can see if my shoulders are left, they're very level. Now, obviously, when I put my hands on the club, we can see my right hand's lower than my left. Therefore, my right shoulder should be lower than the left. So again, we can set up there, pop that in. As that drags back, we can now see left shoulder higher than right. Everything's aligned a little bit more to the right. Now I can make my swing. Okay, that one turning over a little bit more. Again, 4 inches behind. Still 230 and 290 total. Now, lots and lots of run out there, but that'll have just been very low spin. But I would say if you're a golfer who slices the golf ball, you won't be too displeased if you see that odd one start shaping out to there. But I love anything that you can tweak at setup that helps you deliver the club better into the golf ball. Remember, the ball only understands impact. So it's not a case of having lots to think about in the golf swing. We're just going to set up. I don't mind that ball forward still. With the club behind the ball, move 6 to 8 inches back, and then pull the trigger. And again there, 104 club speed, 4.3 behind, 2.6 degrees up, 231 carry and 290 total. Now the big thing for me is as you build confidence, can you then say, right, I'm not missing anything right there, so I could afford to maybe be just right of centre. So I'm going to align my body a little bit right, even aim the club a little right to begin with, pop that club back behind the golf ball, and then I'm going to try and just swing a little quicker. You can see a couple of miles an hour quicker, 106, 4.4 degrees up, 250 carry, and nearly 300 total. So remember, if you're one of those golfers who really struggles with driver, distance and accuracy, and you are one of those golfers who gets the ball way up in the stance, club behind the ball, shoulders are open, even if you get behind, we're going to miss right. Sometimes guys will then move that low point ahead, take all the loft off the ball, and either smother it left or again then leave the club face even more open to miss further right. But like I said at the start of the video, 2-second tip. I appreciate it's not a 2-second video, but we need to understand why this works so you'll stick with it. So you're going to get the club behind, pop the club 6 to 8 inches behind the golf ball, make your swing, and just enjoy hitting longer, straighter drives than ever before.